It's time to talk our beloved Destiny. Let's pull up some Destiny stuff here. Now, look, to be honest, if Destiny's caught using a ton of narcotics, I don't think he would even care either. I don't think he would say anything. I don't think it would be a big deal to him anyway. So Destiny's been going through it lately with all the things happening in his life, including all of the corn possible being leaked onto the World Wide Web. And unfortunately, leaking the fact that his pee is the size of a plantain. It's like a small banana. It's very sad. But I mean, to be fair, if you look at his demeanor, it kind of matches his whole demeanor. And he handled it in a very, very positive way. I have to give the dude props. He was like, you know what? Yeah, dude, that's me. It happens. What's up? And that's probably the best way you can handle it, which is why it kind of disappeared so fast. There's a lot of creators out there that would freak the living hell out and just try to get the whole world banned, threaten to sue people. And that just never works. It's called the Streisand effect. And you have to understand how to navigate the Streisand effect. And Destiny, one thing's true. He knows how to do it. But I want you guys to see something very, very interesting here. We're going to go ahead and play this just so you get an idea of what we're talking about. So check this out real quick.
I was happy because like 7 or 8 years ago, my mom told me, she's like, I don't watch Fox News anymore. I'm like, oh my God, that's so good for you.
I watch InfoWars.
Yes, yeah. Actually. You said that as a joke, but that's true, yeah.
Really?
I was happy, but she went to Facebook and she was getting all of her news from like the memes and then like Alex Jones. Like my mom will send me texts of like, Stevie, look at what this guy said. And I'm like, Mom, this guy tweeted 2 days ago that I was a cuck.
But that's true though. My favorite part about this is that's completely true. And now, look, I wouldn't recommend getting your news from, really any extreme outlet, if you would call it an extreme outlet, but not Destiny either. Destiny is the guy that proudly proclaims that anybody that supported the right deserved to be taken out, and he would laugh over their grave, and he was 100% serious. This was not sarcasm. It's kind of gross. I don't feel that way about anybody. I don't wish death on anybody. I think that's gross. I've never really understood it. Now, granted, it goes a lot hand in hand with the personality trait where I just am not passionate enough about those kind of things. I'm passionate about racing. I'm passionate about big ol' asses. All right. Men and women. Look, what's up? But I'm not passionate about those kind of things. But at any rate, check this out. I want to play this slowly. Look at Destiny's face here. Look at his mouth specifically. Do you notice anything? Do you notice anything about Destiny's mouth here? It's like his jaw is trying to leave his body. Very interesting stuff, right? Look, I grew up in Alabama. And I'm going to be just transparent with you. A lot of the people I know in my life, they have struggled with addiction. They've struggled with things like this in their life. And I've seen it countless times through family members, immediate family members, man. I've seen this kind of stuff. And I was like, wow. And I've noticed it actually recently with other people. And I was like, uh-oh, this isn't good. Because what does this prove? This is called, and this can occur through different substance abuse, methamphetamines, which I don't think, cocaine, and or an overabundance of use of Adderall. Okay, this is what it's called. They call it cocaine jaw, but it's called something else entirely. It's called where is it at? It says this condition is characterized by an involuntary grinding, clenching, or gnashing of the teeth caused by cocaine use. Now, keep in mind this is likely due to multiple substances. It's usually Adderall. So what happens is a lot of young people, and Destiny's technically a young person, I guess. Especially, I think millennials will be overprescribed Adderall. I think it's kind of gross, and I'll give you a little bit of a short story here. So I've known people in the past that, I live in a college town. They go to college. They're in really, really tough fields, trying like STEM fields, for example, really tough stuff to get past, for a lot of people. A lot of people are good at it, but hey. So to get through, they will simply go to a physician and request Adderall. And 9 times out of 10, they will be given it for no reason other than I can't keep focus. I have low energy, and they will be prescribed. Obviously, there's companies making a lot of money off this. I get it. I understand why it's happening. I'm not intentionally naive about that fact. It says this excessive teeth grinding and jaw clenching can lead to various issues such as dental problems, facial muscle tension, and temporomandibular. Woo! So it says the primary factor is the stimulative effects involving the release and inhibited reuptake of brain neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin. This results in excessive muscle tension and hyperactivity in the jaw, leading to the telltale clenching and grinding. I noticed this so fast when I'm watching creators through the years. You can almost immediately tell when creators either say, they either start heavy Adderall usage or they start extremely, extremely heavy cocaine usage. It is something you cannot hide, and it's something that's extremely, extremely readily apparent if you know what to look for. I saw this video pop up, and I do have to say, I've been watching Destiny videos on Twitter. They pop up all the time, and I noticed it a little bit a couple months ago. I was like, that's interesting. I noticed this a little bit a couple months ago. I was like, what's going on here? Is this dude on some cocaine? And this video that came out today, the most recent is the most jarring example I have ever seen. Destiny obviously has a substance abuse problem, and he needs to get that figured out because that shit will spiral. I've seen it in friends in the past. I've seen certain friends have this exact same affliction out of almost nowhere. The most common substance is Adderall, because almost anybody can be prescribed Adderall almost through just being, requesting it. It's freaking terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. I have heard this from people. Man, I have a lot of work. I have a lot of deadlines. I'm going to pop an Adderall and I'm going to get it all done. And suddenly they're doing it every day for years and years and years. I know it's hard, dude. I know it's hard. I know all these things are hard. I know content creation is hard. A lot of people think it's easy. It's not. It takes a lot out of you, regardless or not if you have your boots on the ground. I get it. Okay. So it's just not worth it. Like I've seen my friends go through absolute hell doing this. Right. But at any rate, it's just a normal thing. Oh my gosh. At least you're not Ricky Berwick. That's for damn sure. Poor Ricky. God, Jesus. If Destiny was doing this a year ago, or he had this hyperactivity 2 years ago or 3 years ago, right? It would have been all over Twitter 3 years ago. It's not. It's blowing up today because this example is so exaggerated. Oh no, bro, it's just a lisp. You can tell immediately the people that have been around substance abuse and people that have not immediately, because they're like, oh, that's just a tick that developed out of nowhere. I'm a real big fan of his. He would never do anything that I would consider wrong. And I'm not necessarily saying freaking popping Adderall is necessarily wrong. If it's right for you, fuck. But it's just a slippery slope, man. The Quartering pointed it out today, because everybody's starting to notice this. He said this is textbook Adderall addiction. And that's kind of like where your first thoughts go to, right? Immediately. But like people are saying in the chat, if he's a self-proclaimed Adderall user, that's mainly what's probably going on here. That's a rough picture of Destiny, man. I think Destiny was relatively respected, like relatively speaking, until the whole everybody that supports Trump if they get shot at a rally, they deserve it kind of thing. I was like, it's a little too much. It's not that big of a deal. I kind of hold the opinion that if you want to do a thing, just do a thing, right? Nick Rose says selling cocaine is the way to go, not doing it. Shit. Carasola says Destiny's biggest problem is that he sleeps with 80% of his orbiters. It's wild. Yeah, that's one big issue. Now, I don't know how true that is. I do know that playing on the field that you operate is dangerous. You know what I'm saying? So, for example, if you are talking to people on Discord and you have a personal Discord and you're meeting up with these people that may call themselves fans and you're smashing their pissers, that's going to get very, very tricky very, very fast. Now, again, Destiny's very good at, arguing against allegations by just being like, I don't give a fuck. So that works. But how does that work legally? Because that kind of thing could come back to bite you. Now, Destiny's been around the block for a while, so I'm thinking he maybe curates these people pretty well. But also another issue is those DMs were leaked. So don't shit with you, John. That's the right phrase. Thank you. Destiny's croon brain. Well, see, the issue with Destiny is, here's what I imagine, and this is just me thinking out loud. So don't take this freaking seriously. But people that tend to grow up, you've seen pictures of Destiny growing up. He's a little goober looking guy. And he probably wasn't hypersexually active until his mid 20s or maybe till he found success online. And going that long without a sexual outlet can lead to like really degenerate fantasies. I don't care. A lot of people are like, "Oh, you're just shitting on Destiny." No, dude, he can do whatever he wants. That's great. I'm just saying, let's dig a little deeper and see why these things start to happen. Why do you become interested in all this like stuff that normal people that see it as kind of weird? But at any rate, yeah, that's what leads you down those weird degenerate rabbit holes. And I'm very happy that I got into shape when I was 17. And I started hanging out with chicks, and I kind of got around all that. I didn't develop anything weird. Now, to be fair, I am vanilla as hell. I like to do missionary and listen to Don't Stop Believing. That is all I want to do. Nothing else. Yes, I simped over Tana. It happens. I'm not proud of it. Okay. We all did.